First, the UK tried to send asylum seekers thousands of miles to Rwanda, and the court said no. Now the US is eyeing a similar deal. According to Rwandan officials, discussions are underway for the country to receive deported migrants from America, including those with criminal records. In return, Rwanda will receive millions of dollars in support. Despite its post-genocide development, Rwanda's capacity remains limited. It's one of Africa's smallest landlocked countries, and the UK document from 2022 revealed it could only absorb about 1,000 migrants over 5 years. Meanwhile, the US deported more than 142,000 people in 2023 alone. At the Gashoua Transit Center, where Rwanda hosts migrants from Libya, Human Rights Watch reported prison-like conditions, poor access to asylum, and deteriorating mental health. UN inspectors flagged overcrowding, poor ventilation, and the absence of a national asylum system. Today, Rwanda already shelters more than 130,000 refugees and asylum seekers, according to the UNHCR. Aby Agina, a journalist based in Rwanda, shares insight into the country's role in hosting migrants and refugees.
So far, we only know quite a little because the deal is still being discussed. This is between the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and it is the Secretary of State in the US. But as it stands, Rwanda has been able to already in the past made plans with the United Kingdom where they were planning to have some deportees to be hosted here in Rwanda. But of course, that deal fell off, but the country was well prepared. They had set up the right infrastructure, the housing, and the plans to have the deportees settle here in the country.
So why does Rwanda keep saying yes to these deals? According to analysts, it is about global positioning and aid leverage. To understand the deeper political calculus, we spoke with Professor Efosa Osaghae, Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, who has studied deportation deals between Israel, the UK, and Africa.
Rwanda got depopulated at the time, so the demographics, are strong. You need demographic balance, and so on. So the president has insisted that Rwanda wants to be part of these conversations. Therefore, these are transactional things that have to be bargained and negotiated to the benefit of Rwanda and, by extension, Africa.
According to the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, between 2014 and 2017, Israel struck a secret deportation deal with Rwanda. More than 4,000 Eritrean and Sudanese asylum seekers were sent there under voluntary departure agreement. Most were not given refugee status. They received no documents, no protections, and many vanished into smuggling routes across East Africa. Some died trying to cross the Mediterranean Sea again. The UK-Rwanda deal, which promised Kigali over £10 billion, was ruled illegal by the UK Supreme Court in 2024.
Rwanda is a country governed by rules, and these are the kinds of things that would be under consideration. Now, I think the reason everyone seems to be concerned is this a new form of colonization? Is this a new form of, the North, getting the South, that is global North and global South, getting that South stewed in its juice? But I've talked about reverse migration, which is also something that is negotiable. And maybe that kind of model can pave the way for, a reversal of the brain drain. So in other words, it can open the ways, for us to now consider, why not? I mean, if some of the people from, country X, want to come back, they don't want to return to their countries, they can, find their ways to other countries.
Human rights group like Amnesty International says migrants, especially those with prior convictions, are criminalized, discarded, and sent to nations where reintegration is near impossible. The United Nations Refugee Agency has warned that third country deals like this turn asylum into a transaction, undermining the 1951 Refugee Convention and shifting responsibility from rich nations to smaller, less equipped ones. And despite the high cost, such schemes don't stop migration. If the US move forward with the proposed deportation agreement with Rwanda, it will be acting contrary to established legal precedent. The UK Supreme Court, the European Court of Human Rights, and the UNHCR have all raised concern about similar deportation schemes, emphasizing the risk of violating human rights and the necessity of protecting refugees from degrading treatment.